Hello, my name is Dr. Kelechi Eguzo, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to this presentation that is titled Exploring Careers in Health Sciences. It's an educational intervention that is brought to you by Marjorie Foundation. We are based in Aba, Abia State in Nigeria. And the goal of this presentation is basically to provide some guidance to young people who might be interested, who might have questions regarding what does it look like to work in the healthcare industry. And so I start by saying congratulations. You have worked so hard to get to this stage in your life, finishing secondary school and being at the crossroad of being called an adult is a big accomplishment. So you should actually clap for yourselves. So this shows that you're very smart and that you are able to accomplish a lot of things. And I know, you may have questions about what's next after school. Should I go and learn a trade? Should I go serve someone as an apprentice? Should I even go and become, what kind of career do I want to pursue? So if you have those questions, this presentation is meant for you. Pay attention for the next few minutes and hopefully I can share some insights that might convince you to pursue a career in the health sciences. So there are many pathways that you can get a career, and those pathways are like, what kind of career do you want to work on? So let's start with business and marketing. That's where you have careers in business administration or hospitality and tourism. And if you look here in this video, you can see the manufacturing or industrial and manufacturing systems. That's where you have things like engineering and architecture. But today we're focusing only on health sciences. So when you hear about careers in health sciences, what comes to your mind? Just think about this for a minute. What do you think are the careers in health sciences? Take a listen.
The field of health science is one of the fastest growing career fields in the world. Health science encompasses hundreds of different careers, including many you may not have thought about as being typical medical careers. Along with critical thinking, health science careers combine science, technology, engineering, and math every day on the job to solve problems and help our community to stay healthy. Let's start out with the most well-known health science careers. Typically, when one thinks of health science, doctors, nurses, and dentists immediately come to mind. Whether it's a private practice office or a hospital setting, these professionals are vital to patient care.
So, you heard it all, and careers in health sciences are typically broken down into different categories. So we have therapeutic services, where this is where people like doctors and nurses or pharmacists belong, and people who render diagnostic services. Diagnostics means people that help find out the cause of a disease, or that's where you have radiographers or medical imaging professionals, and then medical lab scientists and technicians. Health informatics are people who manage information regarding healthcare. So that's where you have health information managers, health information practitioners, epidemiologists, and health educators. Support services are where you find people like biomedical engineers or technicians, as well as surgical technicians. Then biochemists and toxicologists belong to the group called the class that we call biotechnology research and development. Now, what do each of these experts do? Because each of these professions are experts in their own right. Nurses, we call them the engine of healthcare. They are the engine because they determine a lot in terms of patient outcome, in terms of how patients perform when they are sick. Nurses are very important members of the team. And in this beautiful picture, you see here a very happy and agile nurse, Nurse Nancy. She leads Abia Cancer Screening Program through Marjorie Foundation and Abia Cancer Control Group. The other people I want to point out to you are the nurses, are the doctors. When I was young, probably about your age, I used to think to myself, I want to be a doctor. Well, I really wasn't sure what doctors did. And doctors, the way I've come to understand it, they are the leaders of the healthcare team. So doctors are the most responsible for a patient's management. This means that every patient has a doctor who looks after them, and the doctor leads every other person in the team, and that team would include doctors, nurses, pharmacists, medical lab scientists, and all of that. And I want to highlight one doctor that I'm super proud of. His name is Dr. Onyema Obuagu. He's from Abia State and he graduated from the University of Calabar, like myself. Thank you very much. Dr. Obuagu worked with Pfizer to develop the first COVID-19 vaccine. Aren't you proud of doctors and what nurses can do? Okay, let's move on. So, Medical lab scientists and technicians, they lead diagnosis, they help conduct tests to guide doctors and nurses in making decisions about how to look after patients. And they don't only work in the hospitals, they also work in the industries and in labs and all of that. Then pharmacy technicians and pharmacists, these people are more into drugs, medications. How they ensure that drugs are safe and they are well given, and that they also know how to find out if the drugs are effective or not. Now, when someone is having a reaction to drugs, the pharmacists and technicians can actually help guide them. Biomedical engineers are people who look after the life of medical equipment. Have you ever wondered what happens to an ultrasound machine after it breaks down, or how do we keep the lab equipment functioning? That is the role of biomedical engineers and technicians. So if you like to work in healthcare but you don't know if you want to use your hand to touch blood, or if you want to just touch equipment, biomedical engineer might be your calling. And then health information practitioners, these people guard health records. They help make sure that whatever the doctor and the patient discuss are intact, and they are used to make informed decisions about patient care. That brings me to this beautiful picture where you see my friend Promise. She's a community health worker. Community health workers are very essential members of the healthcare team. They work closely with patients in the communities, and they help treat minor illnesses. And then we have surgical technicians. When someone goes to do a surgery or an operation, there are people who look after every equipment that is used to make sure that they are safe and that they are functioning properly. That is the role of surgical technicians, and these are important members of the healthcare team. So, did you know that there's a high demand for healthcare professionals right now? COVID-19 has revealed that healthcare professionals are very important in the community, and the people get sick regardless of COVID-19, and people are living longer, so they develop different illnesses. These are the factors that make it important that we have a constant supply of healthcare professionals. And I'm hoping that after today you will decide to be a healthcare professional. Now, there's also a demand for healthcare professionals outside of Nigeria. So in the US or in UK, people are looking for people who are trained to look after others if they're in healthcare. And studying at the right institution can open doors for you to be able to work internationally or even go abroad to study more. Now, what does it take to get into health sciences? We sum it up as STEM. STEM means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. These are the core science subjects, which are like English, physics, chemistry, biology. Those courses help prepare you with the foundations necessary to excel in the healthcare industry. But that's not all you need. To be successful in health sciences, you need to have good communication skills, meaning you should be able to talk to people in a way they can understand in a very respectful manner. And then analytical skills are also very important. This means you can think critically about the information that you get, and you understand it deeply, and you're able to process it and use it to care for a patient. And last but not the least, you need technical skills. These are the hands-on skills, what we expect you to do. If you're a doctor, you should be able to prescribe. If you're a pharmacist, you should be able to dispense, and all that kind of stuff. So those technical skills are very, very important if you want to get into healthcare. And let's check this out.
In my opinion, the medical field, there's no better job to do. It's satisfying. You feel like you've accomplished something by the end of the day and maybe made a difference in one or two people's lives every day. And it's financially sound. And if you like working with people and getting to know people, this is a great field to be in.
So you heard it all. To get into health sciences, you need it's a career that gives you the ability to serve on a lifelong basis, and it's also rewarding. I mean, you're not going to go broke, even though you're not going to build skyscrapers on the sky, but you will live a good life. So let's assume that today you've decided you want to go into health sciences. Where can you get trained? First, if you want to be a doctor, medical lab scientist, or pharmacist, you have to go to university. And those courses range from 5 years for med lab and pharmacy and radiography to 6 years for doctors. And then after these people are done with their training, they add 1 year for internship and another year for youth service. So you want to go to university, you have to plan for some amount of time so they can go through the training. Now, if you're looking to be a nurse, nurses can have two options. They can go through the university to study Bachelor of Nursing. That's a 5-year course. Or if you want to be a registered nurse, you can go to the School of Nursing and Midwifery for a 3-year program. The other class of healthcare professionals, whom I'll call mid-level manpower, are trained in the schools and colleges of health. These include med lab technicians, pharmacy technicians, community health workers, health information management practitioners, biomedical engineers, and surgical technicians. This brings me to our innovation at Marjorie Bash Foundation to help promote quality training of mid-level healthcare professionals. Our foundation established Marjorie Bash College of Health Science and Technology in 2019. This education initiative focused on bringing innovation and using research to help drive healthcare, the training of healthcare providers in our community. As you may know, our foundation focuses on education, health, and community development. So this is just one of the things that we do as a foundation. At Marjorie Bash College, we use modern educational technologies, like online learning and a lot of online technologies to help people learn in a way that they can remember better. We have labs. This is a picture of one of our labs, our medical laboratory department. We have good labs, and we also have a vast connection with institutions in Abia and Akwa Ibom states for you to be able to have good clinical experience. So at Marjorie Bash College, we've tried to make education fun, and you will come to learn from us to see how we are using research to improve the care that people deliver in hospitals around us, and as well as to improve the experience that students get. So presently at Marjorie Bash College, which is in Aba, we are accepting applications that for people who want to start learning from us in September 2021. We have a 3-year diploma in medical lab science, a 3-year diploma in health information management. Community health is a 3-year program, as well as pharmacy technicians. Now, if you want to study biomedical engineering technology, where you can learn how to fix equipment, you will be taking a 2-year diploma course. But if you want to work in the theater as a surgical technician, that is a 1-year certificate. At our college, we've provided a very conducive library. This picture you're looking at here is our library, and each spot in the library has its own dedicated power switch or socket, so you can plug in your laptop or your phone as you're studying. Our library actually has internet, which is open to students. So if you want to apply to our college, you just have to go online to www.marjoriebashcollege.org. You need an email address. That's how you can complete the online application form. It costs only 10,000 naira. You can pay online when you are completing the form. You can come back to the form and pay. You can come back later and pay using a POS or ATM, or even visit your bank to complete the application. Now, to get into our school, you need a minimum of 5 O-level credits in English, Maths, Physics, Chemistry, and Biology. If you are awaiting your results, and they say you're just finishing SS3, we will be willing to consider your application. And you know what? To complete this application, it just takes only about 5 to 7 minutes. So it's very, very easy to complete it. And I really encourage you that at the end of today's talk, you should consider completing an application to our college. So you may be wondering, why do I have to go to Marjorie Bash College and not the other colleges around? There are two things that make a good school. One is the quality of the people who are teaching, and two is the setup that's been provided for that teaching. At our college, we have dedicated lecturers who are very skilled. These are not just people who went to study about, say, medical lab. They are practicing in the field. So what they'll be telling you isn't just what the books say, but what is obtainable in the industry. And the other thing is that because we are using educational technology, there will be no strike or lockdown that can stop your education. So let's say, for instance, God forbid, that coronavirus comes back and they say there's lockdown tomorrow. Our college will continue teaching because we have online education that's been already set up using Google and Moodle. Also, our college has strong international connections in US, Canada, and Germany. Students who come to learn from us also have opportunity to work and earn money on campus. We manage lots of research in our college, so you can actually earn money as a research assistant or as a support service staff in the library or in cleaning services. And you know what? Let me give you an expo. Our campus is beautiful. Check out our hostel, satellite dish, internet. That is what we call modern college. You will definitely love to come to our school. So what would it cost if you want to come to our school? It's pretty easy. Our tuition is very cheap compared to other schools around us, and looking at what we are offering. So for 2021-2022 session, for people who have been admitted, we will charge an acceptance fee of 20,000 naira. Our tuition is 200,000 and I can pay that in 2 installments, so first and second semester. Then we also have accommodation in that beautiful hotel I showed you. It costs 50,000 naira per year, and that is optional. You don't have to live there, but I really encourage you to live in the hostel because that's where you're going to have a good student experience. So before I let you go, I want to remind you that careers in health sciences open the door for a lifetime of service locally, regionally, or even internationally. And if you apply to our college, you will benefit from our team of international lecturers. You will gain exposure to research and community service. I didn't mention this earlier, but our foundation, Marjorie Foundation, does a lot of work in the community. So as a student, you get to participate in this and learn how to serve as a community expert. For instance, we have our Teacher of the Month project, which we use to recognize teachers around Abia State who are doing exceedingly well, and we appreciate them with money and books for their schools. We also have a library which is open to the public. Even if you're not a student, you can come and enjoy it and have fun with us. So I know you have questions. Don't hesitate to call our college office or email us, and you can also check us out on Facebook or Twitter. Thank you very much. I look forward to welcoming you to Marjorie College.